Hey. Uh-oh. I don't know why my coffee didn't taste so good. Anyways, black folk are owners of the whole planet. Jesse Lee Peterson. I did that with the spoon. A little nasty, but let's get it, let's go. No time to waste. Fuck, man. Hold on. Alrighty. Fallen state we in, huh?
I want to suggest to your audience that they should read the book White Rage by Carol Anderson that talks about the pathology and the problems with white people and why they are acting out in such a time as this.
Amazing. And so do you believe that white people are acting out?
Oh my gosh, to be sure. I don't believe it. The facts tell us that.
And where's the proof that white people are acting out?
Well, I think that every day, whenever we get a chance to pick up our phones and look at the media, when you hear such names as Brandon Weber and Charlene Lyles and Deborah and Rakia Boyd and Maya, we hear such names as Eric Garner and Tamir Rice and Botham Jean and E.J. Bradford and Michael
Who are those
Brown.
people?
Yes, all of these are individuals that were murdered by racist white people or shot by racist white people. That's more than enough proof that white folk are acting out.
Had those thugs that you just named off been decent people and followed the instructions of the officer like normal people do, would they be alive today?
Well, what we know is, for example, Tamir Rice, there was no instruction given. And we have, of course, the video footage that shows that in a matter of a couple of seconds, the beast...
No, that's not what I asked you. I asked if those people had been decent black people and followed the instruction of the officer once confronted by the police officer, had they followed the instruction as decent people would do, would they be alive today?
Well, your question is nonsensical because no direction was given to Tamir Rice, for example. He was just shot on contact.
We're not talking about Tamir Rice. They thought that he took the orange on his little BB gun or whatever type of gun he had. It wasn't a real gun. The little orange thing should have been taken off or should have been on. What other ways that they would have known it wasn't a real gun? But unfortunately, he has changed the dynamic of that gun. That's why he's dead today.
Even the officer himself. This is the part, like, Jesse's can be dangerous because even the officer himself knows that he was wrong in the scenario. And I will say this part of it, though. I think that the person who called the police is what hyped the situation. The person who called the police said there's a person in the park with a gun and made it seem as if the person in the park with a gun was a threat. Right, was a heightened threat than what it really was, and that could have been what led to the police officer pulling the trigger. However, though, even the officer felt bad after it. He didn't make it look like how Jesse's making it seem, you know. But she's also right where the officer could have gave a little bit of warning before firing the first shot. You know, the officer just came in, shot. But there's so much in that scenario. So much to unpack in that.
And he was out there. People thought he had a real gun. They called the cops on him, and that's why he's dead today. So I want to go back to my question. Had those black people acted as decent people should act when stopped by the cops, would they be alive today?
Well, first of all, your question makes no sense in most of those cases. Many of the cases, as you well know, our beloved black brothers and sisters' hands were up, so they were actually following the directions of the police officers when they were murdered.
That's not true.
But to Tamir
You're making that up. That's not true. Why is it difficult for blacks to tell the truth?
Well, you know, Brother Jesse, Reverend Jesse, I think you call yourself Reverend Jesse.
No, you can just call me Jesse.
Okay, Reverend, because I'm not sure where you were ordained.
You can just call me Jesse.
Okay, Jesse, what's interesting is about what you just said. Do you know that in the Tamir Rice case, for example, do you know that when folk were calling in, do you know that the recording shows that the person that called in said that they believed that the gun might be a toy gun?
They didn't know whether it's a real gun or not. I want to go back
I didn't know that detail. Now that I know that detail, the cop is completely in the wrong now.
One more time. for my question. Had those black people that are dead now that you named off had acted like decent, moral people when stopped by the cops, would they be alive today?
Think about the implication in that. Like, he's trying to say that blacks that always get unalived by the police, always. He's not making specific situations at all. He's just saying that blacks that always get. That's why I wish white people could hear this in a different way. He's saying that black people that always get unalived by the police are always acting as indecent people. Now just think about that. I think we could have a level of understanding here if we really sit here and think about it together, right? Would that be fair for us to say that all cops are bad? That would be wrong for us to say. That would be extremely wrong for us to say. It's also wrong to say every single time this happens, it's the black person's fault. Is there any common ground that we could all meet on this? I'm just curious. Like, where can we meet at this?
Many of the people I listed were not stopped by the cop. For example, one of the black women
when they were confronted by an officer, would they be alive today had they followed the golden rule?
One of the things that was involved in one of the sisters that was murdered by a racist white savage was that she was stopping at the house to ask him for directions, and he shot her. She stopped to ask her
she was a nutcase too.
Her fellow white neighbor. She stopped a fellow white American citizen for directions, and that beast came to the door and shot this black woman for asking for directions.
Are you a Christian?
You know, I'm going to say I'm that and so much more. I am a student in the Nation of Islam where we teach from both Bible and Holy Quran.
So you belong to Louis Farrakhan, folks?
Oh, you can say that.
How can you follow an evil, dirty man like Louis Farrakhan who believe that white people are the white devils and that they were created by some black men who turned because Louis Farrakhan has this false notion that black people was the first on the earth, and that somehow or another some black men turned evil. They went into a lab and created the blue-eyed devil. That's how we ended up in the blue-eyed devil. Louis Farrakhan also believed that he went up in a spaceship and spoke with dead Elijah Muhammad. You only get that kind of trip when you're on acid. How can you follow a man like that?
Well, you are Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. And again, I'm not sure where you were ordained or what seminary or cemetery you matriculated from, but you believe in Moses. You're
not answering my question. How do you follow an evil man like Louis Farrakhan?
Well, I'm going to make a point here. First of all, he's not an evil man, and I'm bringing
What's good about him?
I was bringing
he's done a lot for black people.
What's good about Louis Farrakhan? You're deviating.
What's good about Louis Farrakhan is that Minister Farrakhan for over 64 years has been standing on behalf of the most disrespected, oppressed, and murdered people on the planet. That's the black man, the black woman.
But only about other black people.
Indeed not.
Only about other black people have treated other black people worse than any white person could ever consider treating anyone. Why don't you, if you people are so unhappy with America, and you call yourselves African American, mommy Africa, right? Why don't you go back to your country?
Well, first of all, because black folk are the owners of the whole planet, everywhere belongs to us. And you can't say because you criticize, that makes you the most patriotic because you criticize so that America correct itself. I'm the most patriotic person you'll ever find because I want America to correct herself.
That's amazing. And correcting herself means to do what?
Right the wrongs. Right the wrongs. That's all. Listen, y'all, I don't want this to be a big fight, man. All black people want is to right the wrongs. Right the wrongs. Right the wrongs that have set our community historically into the position that it's in right now. That's all we're asking white America to do. I just wish that there was a better way some of us could approach it, definitely, because there is a little bit of like humility that we need to have on the ability to ask white people for help. But there's a level of humility white people need to have as well, where it comes to them realizing like some black people have a reason to feel upset. There are generations that have passed down, have been affected by this divide that we've had in this country for so many decades. Let's go on.
Stop murdering us, to cease and desist killing us, cease and desist raping and robbing. Cease and desist the unjust incarcerating of our people. Cease and desist flooding our communities with drugs and alcohol. Cease and desist poisoning our waters. Cease and desist holding on to resources that never belonged to them in the first place and for benefiting from those things. Those are the things that I want them to do. And to, you know what? Show us the money.
With see, I told you want money.
Yes, because it belongs to us.
There you go, begging for money. Y'all want free stuff, and I know why y'all want free stuff.
It's a bill.
For the last 70 years, America have been giving
Reparations is a bill. Reparations is a bill.
Last 70 years. Last 70. Hold on a minute. Hold on. The last 70 years, black people have been begging, so America has been giving them free stuff rather than correcting them, and have been giving them free stuff, and so now they're spoiled. And they are incapable of earning their way. They want free stuff. So if white people ever consider making you work, there are going to be riots in the streets. So that's why you're still begging for all this stuff.
Reparations is a debt owed. Those are services that were rendered for hundreds of years that America owes us. That's not begging for stuff. That's demanding to be paid. That's number one. Number two, white folks are the only ones that are receiving free stuff. It's Europeans that got free land under the Homestead Act. It's Europeans that are getting... It's Europeans that are benefiting from corporate welfare. They're the ones who ended up getting the bailout to the tune of billions and billions of dollars, not black people. Remember, black folk lost more wealth with their properties.
I want to ask this. You said that you want the cops to leave
the
community.
Yes.
What do you say to those black mothers What do you say to those black mothers who are begging the cops to come back, not to leave?
You know, it's interesting. Like, I don't know what city, I can't remember what city it is, but you guys got to research this. Speaking of Mr. Louis Farrakhan, Farrakhan went up to a city with the Nation of Islam, and nope, they didn't have to convert to be Muslim, but a lot of them did. And what ended up happening was the crime rate in that city dropped to 0% just off of their management of crime. So police can't get it under control. But when Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam went in, I don't know if it was specifically Louis Farrakhan, but I know it was a faction of Louis Farrakhan's groups that went into this area, and the crime rate dropped to 0%. They knew how to manage their people better than anybody else. So, like, we know how to manage our people. She is to a degree right. We need to stop putting young officers from different communities in communities they don't understand. That's the problem, you know, overall.
I don't know any that are doing that.
They are doing it. There are some who do. Why you don't know the right stuff? You seem to know all the wrong stuff.
Well, again, because, Brother Jesse, because when you
so much indirect
and of these kinds of awards, folk that are coons and meritorious men in mission and butter biscuits, they tend to lie and they spout racist, inaccurate.
Butter biscuits with honey.
So you're not giving us 100% of the truth.
We run out of time. I want to ask, do you believe in the spiritual order of God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children? Do you believe in it? Do you believe in that spiritual order?
In the proper context with the true Christ, not the white Jesus. Do you believe in?
No, you're not asking my question. Do you believe in that order?
I do believe in spiritual order.
So my question then, if black men were to overcome their mothers and return to their earthly fathers, love God, love their earthly fathers, which would cause them to love God, and the black men would come back to their proper state of being, would women like you follow them then?
Once you stop following the white Jesus.
No, you didn't answer the question. I asked, would women like you follow the man if he was in his natural state of being?
Yeah, I would. No woman in her right mind would not submit to a man that knows the real God and that loves
the black men and all men need to overcome their mothers, return to their fathers, and love their earthly father so they can love God, and then the black women would come to order, right? The women and children would come to order then, right?
Overcome their fathers. What if those fathers are
No, I said overcome the mother. They need to overcome their mothers.
It's going to a weird place, and every time it goes to that weird place, I always cut it off. But I love our women. I love our women for I love their spunk. I love their enthusiasm. I love our women's in our community, our women have had to be leaders. They've had to always be strong. So I think we need to make an area where they can be soft and they can be genuine for us when we need them to be. And I love our women for that. It's like I love us, you know. I don't know I don't know how Jesse feels about the community, but hey, it is what it is. Hey, y'all, I'm out. Peace.